It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Catafamo. I'd like to thank you for joining me. On today's show, we are talking with Yavapai College Sign Language Professor Daniel Swartz. Professor Swartz also runs the co-runs the fundraiser with the YC Foundation, Daniel's Ride. Professor Swartz, I'm going to let you explain what Daniel's Ride is and its origin. I know it's been a big project for you. It has been a great little fundraiser as well, and it's still going very strong. So I want to let you talk about it because I don't want to mix up the story at all. And so let's start out with that. How did Daniel's Ride originate?
It originally started just as a simple bike ride. I'm not a bicyclist, I'm not a cyclist, I'm not a fitness guru, I'm not any of those things. I just decided after the pandemic started last year, a couple months in, tried to gain some sense of normalcy in my life and maybe some sort of sanity. I decided to grab the bicycle that I had sitting in my garage and just go out for a ride on the Peavine Trail in Prescott one day. And it's an 8.7 mile round trip trek that I take. And that one day I came back and I said, oh, that felt good. And the next day rolled around and I said, yeah, let me go out again. And just one day led to another. And it developed into a streak, and that started May 16th of 2020 last year, almost a year ago. And since then, I have strung together. Yesterday, we'll ride 317 in a row through all kinds of weather, all kinds of things we can talk about later. But how it became Daniel's Ride, or the COVID Bike Ride of Hope, was I approached a former dean, some professors at the college, and I said, we need to do something with this. And they came up with the idea of starting this as a fundraising ride, and here we are.
And it's been going strong. As you mentioned, you did complete your 300th ride this month. You said you were at 317 as of today. But you were not an active biker beforehand. You just kind of, like you said, you just saw the bike and were like, well, I guess I could, get out of the house for a little bit, and it turned into almost a passion for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's an obsession now. It kind of like rules my day to a certain degree because I will at least go on the Weather Channel or on my weather apps and the night before and monitor what the weather's going to be like the next day. I'll monitor the winds, the temperatures, which has been especially important during the winter because I've been riding in sub-freezing temperatures. I think the lowest temperature I've ridden is 20 degrees. And I have to match that up with my work schedule, so find windows that I can ride. So yeah, it's become a major obsession. There are days, obviously, when I go out, when I wake up in the morning, and it's like the only window that I have is like 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's 20 degrees, or it's raining, or the winds are like 30 knots, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. But then I think about when I get out there and do it and release the endorphins and everything, it feels good.
Of course, I have a hard time getting into, here in the winter times in the Verde Valley. It does get kind of cold. Not as cold as Prescott. Prescott, you get the snow, and it's real cold. But I have a hard time sometimes just driving to work. I live 5 minutes away from work in my car, but I can't imagine biking in sub-20 degree weather. Is there a specific goal you want to reach with these rides? I know the money is going towards keeping Yavapai College students in class, helping them with, I would assume, getting internet connection or some equipment, putting food on the table. Yavapai College obviously is a community college, so there's a lot of part-time students who are working, who have families, who are obviously struggling in the pandemic. But is there a specific goal that you want to hit? I mean, is it just like, I'm just going to keep riding until I can't, raise as much money as possible? Or are you going, okay, once we get to 10,000 or once we get to 100,000, I'm just going to slow down and biking will become more of a leisure for me?
Well, originally I didn't really know where it was going to end, but I had an injury suffered I can talk about that. But I had an injury suffered on the ride that I have to have surgery for in my left shoulder. So I've been keeping the orthopedic surgeon at bay. He wants to cut me open right away. And I said, no, I have to finish this. So the goal now is for 1 year. So the 1 year anniversary will be May 16th, May 17th of this year. There'll be a college celebration at the Peavine Trail. The head, God, I always get these, North Head or South Head. Anyway, it's the one by the Humane Society off of Sundog Ranch Road. So we're having a celebration and all that, and then a few days later I go under the knife. But the plan and the intention is, as soon as I recover enough from surgery, that I will get back on the bike and continue and start or whatever. And I just want to keep this going. So the money side of it, I'm kind of letting most of the other people take care of that and look after that. I do know that we are going to be launching sponsorships probably this week or next week, where we're going to be really garnering and approaching different people, different businesses to help sponsor the ride, and that'll be an important part of the celebration that's going to happen in May.
Okay. You're obviously a professor at Yavapai College. I mentioned in the opening, you can see the polo he's wearing. It says Yavapai interpreter. But you obviously have been dealing with a lot of the direct issues that some of the students have been going through. You've obviously dealt with some challenges as a professor with the online courses. Has that been the motivating factor for you? I know that COVID-19 has been an absolute nightmare in a lot of different facets, but one specifically has been schools. A lot of high school kids out of classes, a lot of college kids out of classes, that senior year getting taken away. A little bit better now, though, of course, but when in the height of the pandemic, if we want to flash back maybe more to last spring, that was very, very confusing and hard times. So has that been the motivating factor for you, is just being directly involved with these students?
Yes. When we came back from spring break last year in March, and then we went kind of like March 16th, around that time, we went from face-to-face to completely locking down the campus and going virtual. And I lost about 25% of my students in that transition. They couldn't make the face-to-face to the virtual transition, whether it be lack of internet, lack of fast internet, inability to actually understand or adapt well to doing virtual education. Right. And it's not for everybody. It's very difficult, especially when you're teaching sign language. When you do a Zoom class and you've got 25 students and they're all small little faces on a screen and you're trying to sign to each other, it's difficult. Yeah. And the students becoming more adept at using Zoom and the functions of Zoom or any other virtual meeting application. So, like I said, I lost about 25% of my students. A lot of my students, I was meeting with them during virtual office hours, discussing various problems they problems at home. A lot of my students are what's called dual enrollment students, which means they're high school students and they're also taking college classes. So by the time they graduate high school, they'll have an associate's degree from Yavapai College. So a lot of these students were having issues where they have to go to school virtual during the daytime at their high school, have to deal with fitting in my virtual class, and all the problems they were having at home with their parents, possibly losing their jobs. It was very difficult. I had one student for sure that I know of that became homeless during the process, so trying to work and find her housing and putting her in touch with the right people. So it's been a strain on everybody.
COVID-19 has definitely been tough for everybody, but people like Professor Swartz trying to make it a little easier as best he can. When we come back, though, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk about Professor Swartz's battle with COVID as well as with a mountain lion. So stay with us on the other side of this break. Countywide will be right back.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Your carpet is the largest air filter in your home, trapping dust, dirt, and germs from the air that your family members breathe. even the furriest ones.
That's why it's important to keep your carpet and tile clean and hygienic with regular cleanings by Zero Res. Zero Res uses state-of-the-art technology and powered water, not soap or harsh chemicals, so zero residue is left on home surfaces.
Schedule your appointment today because a clean home is a healthy home. Visit ZeroResNorthernArizona.com.
Hi, this is Greg at Verde Solar Power. You know, Arizona has lots of clean, renewable sunshine, and we want to help you take advantage of it with our quality solar installations, and we offer to beat any written offer on a residential solar electric system. So bring us your electric bill and let us show you how solar power will save you money. We're located conveniently here in the Verde Valley and are dedicated to helping the valley go solar. So remember, the energy solution comes up every morning.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Welcome back to Countywide. On today's program, we are talking about Daniel's Ride, and we are speaking with Yavapai College sign language professor Daniel Swartz. Professor Swartz, almost a year ago, got on his bike on the Peavine Trail and wanted to help raise some money for some of the students at Yavapai College who might be struggling staying in class due to the ever-changing landscape that is COVID-19. We talked a little bit about the origin of Daniel's Ride in the first segment, but I alluded to a story that you told me. You didn't tell me the whole thing, so I'm also hearing it the first time, but you had a battle. Obviously, you dealt with COVID, and we can talk about that a little bit, but you fought a mountain lion, or you ran into a mountain lion, one of the two. Right. Let's jump into that right off the top.
Okay. Well, after I had recovered, even during COVID, when I had COVID, I still made the bike rides. I probably shouldn't have. But towards the end of August of last year, it was I was on the Peavine Trail, and I was riding early in the morning. It was just as dawn was happening. I was going over a hill, a ridge, and out of nowhere, I saw this shadow come, hit my bike, knocked me off my bike. It lingered for just a second. I realized what it was. It was a mountain lion. And I'm like, oh my God. So I was kind of like shocked. I didn't really know exactly what was happening. I knew that I had injured myself, and I was very thankful that the mountain lion went away and didn't have me for breakfast.
Is that the same injury with your shoulder? Or
yeah, that's where I fell on my elbow, and then I hit my shoulder really hard. It damaged my rotator cuff and also damaged my bicep tendon. So I didn't realize it was that severe at the time, and then I guess it was a week or so later I went and saw an orthopedic surgeon, and through all the testing and everything, realized exactly what was going on and that I had to have surgery. We first tried the route of physical therapy. It didn't really take. We knew it wouldn't. So he wants to cut me open, and I'm waiting till after the 1-year anniversary of the ride to do that. So it's difficult because I have to be careful how I get on and off the bike. I have to be careful of how I unload and load my bike on the back of my vehicle when I go to the Peavine Trail. So it's a hassle. And right. Even when in the winter months when I was wearing heavy clothing and everything, it was very hard to get my arm into some of the clothing I was wearing. It's been a struggle.
In a past life, I used to work as a security guard, and then there was one day I was sitting in the gatehouse, and I was looking across the street, and something bolted far across the street and went up and over a brick wall. It's a mountain lion. Those things are huge.
Yes, they are.
I cannot imagine just patiently biking around the Peavine Trail. See, this is why you have to wear like a T-shirt or a name tag, because I think if the mountain lion had seen who you were and why you were riding, I don't think he or she would have went after you.
I need to be more visible, because obviously I'm sure the mountain lion did not try to attack me. It was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And I'm sure the mountain lion was just trying to get some information on where to donate, which you can do by going to justgiving.com. yavapai.com/fundraising/Daniel Swartz. Or you can also visit yc.edu just for general information on the college if you need it, or if I'm sure you can find some information regarding the fundraiser there. But justgiving.com/fundraising/Daniel-Swartz is the way to go if you want to donate some money there or help to add to the funds. And there has been some good add-ons to this funds. The Desert Financial Fiesta Bowl Kindness Arizona Tour, they donated $5,000 to Daniel's ride recently. I know you've raised currently over $1,500, and it's just going to help your students essentially.
I would like it to be a lot more. Hopefully this will help. I'm going to get the word out because at the college, we've attracted a lot of attention from the faculty and staff, and the honors program as well as the Rough Rider ambassadors, two separate groups, they have latched on to this ride, and it's actually become the project for the honors students for this spring. So they're the ones that are organizing the festival, the one-year anniversary festival, and they're also the ones that are garnering support through financial supporters of the ride. So big shout out to all of my friends at Yavapai College, and hopefully we'll be getting more fundraising supporters, because that sponsorship is really important for the ride.
I just want to diverge a little bit here as we wrap up the second segment and just talk a little bit about your career as a sign language interpreter. If we have about 3 minutes here in this segment. How did you get started? What led you here to Yavapai College? And I know you told me off air that you've done a lot of traveling with this career, and it was stopped because of the pandemic, and it's just now starting to pick up again. But just more in your background, how did you get started as a sign language interpreter that led you to a job as a professor?
Yeah, a long time ago in a former life, I'm an Air Force veteran, so I was in the military, and then when I got out of the military, I got into construction. So I was really a tile and marble mason for a number of years. And then one thing led to another. I met some deaf people, and they said, "Oh, why don't you come to this class at American Red Cross," where I was born and raised in Baltimore. So I took a sign language class, one thing led to another, and then I kind of was going to an interpreter training program at the same time I was working construction. Then I finally had to make the decision, do I continue with construction, or do I go into learning sign language and becoming an interpreter? So over 35 years ago, I decided to make that switch, and then I went to Gallaudet University, got my degree in interpreting, my associates, my bachelor's, my master's, my doctorate, and then I got involved with interpreting. So my first love is interpreting. I've been doing that for more than 35 years. I travel all over. I interpret for interesting people.
Anybody that we would know, anyone specific?
I've interpreted for a number of presidents. I've interpreted for Bill Clinton, George Bush, interpreted not for Barack Obama, but his wife, Michelle. And I've interpreted for a number of movie stars, celebrities, not by the fact that I know these people, just the fact they need to have equal access to communication for their deaf audience. So it's been really fascinating.
Did you get a chance, before we head to our break here, did you get a chance to meet any of those people? Was it just sort of like you standing off to the side and...
Standing off to the side and also meeting them, being completely vetted by Secret Service.
Of course.
Ahead of time. And then by just shaking hands, having the opportunity like, oh, you know, and they would always say thank you very much. And the normal comment would be, oh, you did a really good job. And I'm like, how would you know?
Yeah. What a blanket statement for somebody you didn't watch the entire time as they're giving their speech. We were doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, but you did a great job.
Right.
That's great. I did not know that you got to work with some former presidents and a few celebrities. That's incredible again, much like bike riding, you didn't start out with a passion for sign language. It just turned into something for you.
It happened.
Yeah.
It happened. And even interpreting, I do a lot of theatrical interpreting and also live performance interpreting. One of my favorite things is to do comedy tours. I've interpreted for the Impractical Jokers.
Oh,
things
great.
like that. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, very exciting. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll talk about the community reception and the collaboration with Yavapai College and what Professor Swartz's plans with his fundraiser after the pandemic gets to a point where we can call it over. All that and a whole lot more on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
two things we can count on every year.
A new set of tax rules and great weather here in northern Arizona.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, locally owned and operated by Lewis Rice since 1997, is here for you all year long.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Office will help you in all of your taxing situations.
Electronic filing is always free with your tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service.
Get more in return. Call 1-800-234-1040 for an office near you.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at C&B homes.com.
Been hearing about the crazy benefits of CBD? Find out how CBD can help you at Sedona's #1 resource, CBD Sedona. Come in for a free consultation and let our trained medical staff help you find the perfect product for you. Pain relieving salves, full spectrum oils, CBD skincare, bath bombs, and even CBD for your pets. Come on by CBD Sedona today.
Terrifying jobs, high-flying linemen, take 3.
Josh, this is an absolutely terrifying job. Why do you do it?
It's a very demanding job, but very rewarding and exciting.
How much energy are you actually working with up there?
500,000 volts of electricity.
It's definitely not my line of work. Does anything shock you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
I want to welcome you back here to Countywide. On today's show, we are talking Daniel's Ride, and my guest in studio today is Yavapai College Sign Language Professor Daniel Swartz. We talked about the origins of Daniel's Ride. We talked about Professor Swartz's brief battle with a mountain lion. And now I just want to ask, the efforts here are focused around COVID. They're focused around helping students during COVID. Hopefully at some point we'll be able to say that COVID is over, or we'll get to a point where we can return to some sort of normalcy. So obviously, this riding now has become not only a passion for you, but also sort of a repetition, sort of something you look forward to doing and do every day. When we get to that point, are your efforts going to shift to a different cause within the college? Are you going to continue to try to provide funds for Daniel's Ride? Will that money still go towards college students? Where are we with that when the pandemic ends?
Well, what's going to end probably before that, unfortunately, is the ride, at least temporarily, when I have surgery, because I won't be able to get back on the bike for a couple of weeks.
Right.
But when I do get back on the bike, the plan is to continue doing the ride, start the streak all over again, and the funding is going to go to the same place it's going right now. And there's already been decided that this is going to be an annual event in May. We're going to be doing the celebration of this ride. So I was really surprised to learn that from the staff and the administration at the college, that the plan is to make this an annual event in May, along with the college's Yavapalooza celebration.
And you, I would assume, just keep riding.
Keep riding.
Yeah.
Keep riding as long as I can. The need for the financial need of college students, their families, et cetera, will not end when COVID ends. There's still going to be that need.
Any rides coming up that we can look forward to? Anybody want to go where specifically, if they want to go meet a celebrity, a little local celebrity, and talk with Professor Swartz or ride alongside him?
Well, my rides vary from day to day as time-wise, but you can always see me out on the Peavine Trail. It could be early in the morning, definitely earlier in the morning as summer approaches, because when we get temperatures that are in the 90s and up to 100 degrees, I always try to go out early in the morning. But we're having the staff at the college, the professors and the staff, the faculty, whatever, are having a ride along with me. I think it's April 7th or 10th, somewhere in there. So they're all joining on the ride along with me on that particular Wednesday. And then come to May, where we have the celebration, everybody's going to be riding along. But you can come on out to the Peavine Trail. It's a beautiful trail. It's even though I do that every day, I just am amazed by the scenery going through the granite dells. It's just beautiful.
So if you happen to be out on the Peavine Trail, you might catch Professor Swartz. Might be a little hard to recognize him, but I'm sure if you biked past him, you probably know exactly what he looks like. But if you are interested in donating, justgiving.com/fundraising/Daniel Swartz, that's the URL to go and put any kind of money that you want to donate towards this cause. Again, the money is going towards Yavapai College students to make sure that they can stay in their education throughout however long this pandemic happens to last. And also general information for the college, yc.edu, if you just want to know about the college. And you can also call them 928-445-7300. Before we head out, Professor, is there anything else you want to say about the cause? Anything specifically you want to get out? We're coming down to the end of the show here.
This started out for me as just something to break the boredom. But I think what made me realize that this was such an important thing to do is that I saw how my students were struggling, and that you just have to make an effort. And even though we think maybe sometimes that we have a really tough time of it, I know sometimes I feel kind of like down, and it's like, wow, this really sucks. My job's not the way it used to be. The adjustment is very difficult. Yeah. But just to get out there and keep trying, and I like the parable of the Native American parable of the good wolf and the bad wolf. If I could just tell this brief story, this kind of motivates me many times. A little Native American boy asked his father, he said, how will I succeed in life? And he said, well, the father said, well, there's two wolves. There's a bad wolf and a good wolf. And the little boy says, well, who survives? Who wins, the good wolf or the bad wolf? And the father says, it depends on which one you feed. Yeah. So to me, I try every day to feed the good wolf.
An incredible cause, again, justgiving.com/fundraising/Daniel Swartz. That's going to do it for this episode of Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Katafim, wishing you a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Perfect.